surrounded by amazing people. But also, have you seen the Johnny Depp defamation trial? He's suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for calling him a wife beater, allegedly. You want some lowlights? Here's some lowlights.
After the wedding, there was a dinner, dancing, and drugs.
You can't say that you carried cocaine in that box?
No, but it looks like it would fit some cocaine.
You would sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings, too, right? During this time period.
Isn't happy hour any time? I don't believe that I'm the only human being that's ever punched a door or broken something on my side of the bed. Was human fecal matter.
Talk about airing dirty laundry. So yeah, it's sad, kind of gross, kind of riveting, but it's also kind of inspiring. So bear with me on this. First, we all grew up watching Depp, so naturally, we're going to be curious to what's going on. It's not like we care what Peter DeLuise is up to. Remember him? And there are some ugly things in this case. There's video of Depp smashing furniture, Depp punching a wall, lots of drinking and drug use, a finger getting sliced, passing out, swearing, screaming, bottle throwing, hitting. What Dana Perino would call a quiet night at home. Generally, I stay away from this stuff because it's weird to turn people's suffering into entertainment. If I want that, I can read Cat's Diary. That is when Kilmeade returns it to me. He told me it's a combination of Judy Blume and Clive Barker. But I feel dirty when I explore other people's pain and also other people's poop. True, this might be the first time we've ever seen on TV people talking about other people crapping in their bed on purpose. Depp calls the act a grumpy. Someone should alert Snow White of this immediately.
She was on the phone and they were making a wonderful point of just how funny it was that I thought that some human being had actually dropped a grumpy term onto the bed, and they were yucking it up. They were laughing about the whole thing, and I really didn't feel like I deserved that.
Well, I guess you wanted to show him what Gilbert Grape's been eating. Damn. Of course, everyone has dirty laundry in an ugly divorce. In this case, the dirty laundry here was in fact really dirty laundry. And the whole world shared her trip to 21 Dump Street. But there were other times when you could really sympathize with Depp. For example, like, why did he give drugs to Marilyn Manson?
And one of your good friends that you've taken drugs with before is Marilyn Manson, right?
We've had cocaine together maybe a couple of times.
Pills, right? With Marilyn Manson?
I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much.
I know what Judge Janine is getting for Christmas. But there's a bigger story here beyond the seedy salaciousness. The fact is, Depp is humiliating himself for a good reason. He's burying the most pathetic, saddest part of his life because he feels it must be done. He's got to empty himself out, and not the way Amber did on the bedspread. It's like chemo. He realizes the treatment is hellacious, but it's the only way to beat the cancer. So he's burying his horrible existence, warts and all, to billions of strangers. How can he do that? Well, somehow he's immunized himself against the effects of embarrassment. And that's a superpower. There's nothing you can do to him that he hasn't done to himself. It's like Superman hoarding kryptonite before you can use it against him. When I watched him, I found myself somewhat liberated for a few reasons. One is obvious. That unlimited wealth, fame, and good looks doesn't make you immune to suffering. So I got something to look forward to. But also, embarrassment hits all of us, from the shopkeeper to the shoplifter, from the moving van driver to the movie star. And that should bring comfort to your life, that we're all equal under the harsh cruelty of our own fallible nature. Give us any embarrassment of riches, and we could turn it into an embarrassment of embarrassments. But what makes you immune to suffering is your ability to cease judging other people, even as they judge you. That's why this testimony helps all of us. Once you realize that even big stars are susceptible to life's humiliations, Then you realize that life is hard for everyone. You might be luckier than him, you might not be. Maybe you screw up, maybe you make a fool out of yourself. But the only person who really judges you is you. Fact is, people overestimate how much others notice their mistakes. Now, it doesn't feel that way when it's your mistake. But people are generally too consumed by their own problems to dwell on yours. So when I watch Depp, I see a human sacrifice, an act of liberation for all of us, whether he knows it or not. He's embarrassing himself for all our sins. Fact is, I'm a weirdo, and I don't care if anyone judges me for that, since I won't judge them in return. That's freedom, because we're all hopeless sinners and fools and humans. Depp is doing the best performance of his career, performing a sacrificial act for us. He's saying, I'm not just like you, I might be worse. And no yachts or mansions can save me. He's accepting the Oscar for being a flawed human being, then slapping himself in the face. The result, you see that we are in this thing together, and nothing drives that point home better than someone else taking a dump in your bed. The only difference is Johnny's sheets have a higher thread count. Let us welcome tonight's guest. He's written 8 books, which is impressive, till you realize Kilmeade's written 7. Yeah. Novelist and literary critic Walter Kerr. This southerner won't eat an alligator, but she'll wrestle one. Fox Business anchor Dagan McDowell. Excuse me. 3-legged chairs, call her unstable. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. I didn't know they could talk. And his barber has to use scaffolding. My massive sidekick in the NWA's World Television Champion and author of the hit new book, Just Tyrus, a memoir. In stores, or memoir? Who cares? It's in stores April 26th. Tyrus! This is the ideal time to invite Johnny Depp on the show, Walter. Right? I think he's perfect for this show now.
And you really bought his act.
Yes, I did.
I mean, that was like a sermon that you'd see on Oprah.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
We're all flawed and so on.
Yes, aren't we?
Well, I'm not, but he is, apparently.
Is he brave or nuts for doing this? This is not a divorce hearing. This is about slander. He didn't have to do this. So he's causing all of this laundry to come out. Is that brave because he needs to clear his name, or is it nuts?
I think it's one long personal ad for the most screwed up lady in the world. I mean, this is a mess. This is like a trip to the monkey house. Mm-hmm. These people spent their marriage throwing food, bleeding, and having diarrhea. I mean, they didn't need a marriage counselor. They needed a trained zoologist. But you know, the thing is, Amber Heard has yet to be heard, right?
But she's turd.
Yeah, but because I have a theory with these celebrity on celebrity trials that whoever's more famous wins. And so after seeing Johnny's performance and seeing how much you bought into it, I think he's a sure thing to win.
So you think I'm a sucker?
The pauses that I heard Johnny using were the most deliberate thespian pauses that I've heard outside of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
I mean, the guy winds it up, then he holds you in suspense, then he drops the grumpy.
Yes, I love that, by the way. Tyrus, though, when you see somebody that successful dealing with horrible problems, doesn't it give everyone hope?
Yeah, you know what? Your monologue was spot on, and I agree. He's obviously very dramatic, but there has to be a sense of, I get it, and I think that's what you captured, because I get it. You know, there are some things, it is better to be known as a drug-doing weirdo
Yes.
than a domestic violence guy.
Right.
You know, like, that's what he's fighting against. It has nothing to do with, he's never going to get a dime from her.
Yeah.
It's not even about that. It's about, what would you rather be?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he would rather all his stuff come out, him looking weak. I mean, they're embarrassing him. Even the stuff that's on his behalf, as a man, he looks terrible.
Right.
So, and the cross-examination or the question, drugs, right? Drugs, right? That, to me, when I hear those kind of questions, their case isn't as strong as his, because they're trying to get people to go like, oh, he's a disgusting human being because he does drugs with Marilyn Manson. So clearly he's a wife beater.
Right.
And he's saying, no, I'm all these things because of my relationship. And I handled it wrong. Him throwing we've all been there. We've all punched the cabinet, kicked the door, went outside and said, what the hell? Or in some cases, just went outside and never came back. You know, everyone has been in those situations. So I think it's the performance of his lifetime because it's his life. He'll never get a movie again if you're known as a sexual harasser, a domestic violence guy. You will never work again. But a drug addict, you can get some work.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Dagan, what do you make of this so far? Did you care at all about this or follow it?
I cared so much that I laid on my sofa, prone, covered in dog hair, should have been vacuuming. There was a dirty wee pad on the floor, and I didn't even get up to take it out and put it in the trash chute. I watched 2 days, every hour of his testimony on direct one day and on cross. This is after I got home from work. Because one, I'm almost his age. And he was kind of my go-to. You know, I'd lay in bed before I went to sleep at night thinking, I'm going to meet him in a dive bar at Virginia Beach when he's filming a movie and I'm going to be his. But now, he's gettable for me.
Yeah.
Potentially. And by the way, he's also, what we have witnessed is very relatable. Like, what chick hasn't, like, gotten up in the morning and there's some dude in your kitchen wearing a Richard Petty hat, his mouth is purple from drinking so much red wine, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, he's getting in a fight with the paper towel holder, he's kicking your toaster oven, and then he storms out of the room. But in my case, I gave him $50 to go buy more wine, and then he just disappeared and never came back.
And they call me a novelist.
I'd buy that book.
I would too. Pat, Tyrus, the distinction is what is important. Depp comes off as self-destructive, which is sad, but he doesn't come off as sadistic, which is what she wants and what she kind of comes out as in a way. What do you?
I mean, the dump in the bed is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of huge for me. Because, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not, like, difficult to handle and crazy like I thought I was. I am a chill girl.
Yeah.
I never, ever thought it turns out I'm well-adjusted, easygoing, chill, walk in the park type of girl. Because not only have I never done that, I've never even thought about it. I've never, like, I don't think I bragged about always using a toilet for probably 30 years. Like, since I was a toddler, now I can start bragging again. I always use a toilet.
Yes, yes.
You know, to Kat's point, that's another thing, too. If you are doing those type of things, you're not in fear.
Yeah.
That's not someone who's afraid.
Right. That's true. That's true. And, I mean, he had recordings where she just basically belittled him after he said, you were hitting me, and he goes,
those were hits, not punches.
Yes.
Man up. Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
That's great in court.
Yeah,
Your Honor, I didn't punch her, Your Honor. I hit her. Know the difference, sweetheart. Like,
yes.
That would not go over well in any court.
Yeah.
No matter how nice your voice sounds.
Yeah. All right. We'll get our bookers to give him a call. Come on the show. All right. Before we go, we've got some exciting news. Our live studio audience returns Monday, May 2nd, and free tickets are now available. We're also moving to a brand new studio. It is insane. Go to foxnews.com/Gutfeld to get your free tickets today. Up next, we're not above gloating. CNN's ship that's no longer floating. No.
Your spirit is stronger than your highs and lows. Your